Hola mi gente! Today is a really happy day. My mom came to visit me here in the US and she brought me a bunch of goodies and souvenirs. This ruana and this mochila are typical of my country. Men and women wear them alike. Let's see what else she brought. Oh my gosh! Un sombrero volteado. Oh, now this is a symbolic piece. I'm keeping it forever. Okay, what else do we have? Bocadillos! My favorite sweets. Mamá, gracias por los bocadillos. Okay, let me eat one bocadillo with some milk and I'll be right there. Ah, delicious. Thank you for letting me enjoy my favorite snack since I was a kid. It brought me back so many great memories. So, today's lesson is the third episode in our Latin American Identity series. We went from Chile to the Dominican Republic to a new destination today, which, I must say, fills my heart with pride and love. Can you guess what country we're exploring? We are going to explore Colombia, my home country, and I can't wait to show you around. So, are you ready? ¡Vámonos! On our journey through Colombia, you will learn about some important aspects of its national identity. You're going to learn some fun facts about this extraordinary country, its culture and character, a few of its most popular places, and, last but not least, its fantastic food. Before we start, make sure you have a copy of page 4 from the PDF. You're going to guess the answers to the questions that I'm going to ask you by selecting the option you think is correct. You don't need to know the answers, just have fun guessing. The first symbol of Colombian identity is its flag, with a thick yellow stripe and thinner blue and red stripes. Colombia is often called the entryway to South America, which should tell you something about its location. So, here's our first question. Where in South America is Colombia located? You can find Colombia in the northmost tip of South America. That's why it is often called the entryway to South America. It shares borders with Panama, Venezuela, Brazil, Peru, and Ecuador. Its unique location provides it with a wide variety of ecosystems and landscapes that make it extremely rich in biodiversity. So rich that it is categorized as a mega-diverse country. And the entire world has the privilege of enjoying a piece of Colombian nature through many different exports. Which brings us to our next question. Which two Colombian export products are examples of its rich biodiversity? With more than 400 native edible fruit species, Colombia is the top exporter of exotic fruits in the Americas. We have the ones that you already know, like bananas and pineapples. But have you heard of granadilla, guama, and chontaduro? Just the names sound exotic, right? And the flavors will blow your minds. Colombia also provides many countries with thousands of different flowers, the United States being the top consumer. So those roses that you gave or received for Valentine's Day, they were probably Colombian. The country is so proud of its flowers that it holds a massive 10-day flower festival every year called La Feria de las Flores in the city of Medellín. If you have the opportunity to meet different Colombians, you will notice that there is not a typical Colombian physical look. And that's because Colombia is just as racially diverse as it is biodiverse. There are over 100 indigenous groups, as well as Black, Caucasian, and white European people, and every racial crossover in between. So you can see all of these different people on the streets of Colombia. Did you see my picture? And the last one over there. Ha ha ha! When it comes to their social relationships, Colombians tend to form tight bonds and emphasize family values and traditions. And here's another question for you. What is one common tradition in Colombian families throughout the country? To officially kick off Christmas, Colombian families gather outside their homes on the night of December the 7th, and they light little colored candles and paper lanterns on their porches and sidewalks nearby. This family tradition is called El Día de las Velitas, Little Candles Day. Local governments also go overboard with city lighting and fireworks. Doesn't it look a little bit like Hanukkah or the Indian Diwali festival? I love how cultures can be so different, yet so similar. Another tradition that is common amongst Colombians is to have a paseo de olla. A what did you say? A paseo de olla. Let me explain. Usually on a weekend, families and friends drive to a river or lakeside and they have a cookout. They swim and they relax, but most importantly, they light a fire and cook a big pot of sancocho for everyone. It's so much fun. I've done it many times with my family. And I know I keep talking about family, but that's because Colombians tend to have a very close relationship with their immediate and extended families. For example, it is common for children to graduate high school and go to local universities while continuing to live at home. And we're not just proud of our families, we're also very proud of our country, which leads us to our next question. What is an example of everyday Colombian patriotism? One thing that is difficult to find in Colombia is a person who does not know the chorus and first verse of the national anthem. And that's because, by law, it's been played on all radio and TV stations twice a day, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. since 1995. Another example of patriotism is wearing the Colombian colors on a regular basis. It's very common for men and women alike to wear bracelets and mochila bags with the flag's colors, or with traditional Colombian weaving patterns, like my bracelet or my mochila. Did you already add visiting Colombia to your bucket list? Well, millions of people from all over the world already did, and they want to experience our beautiful country firsthand. So here's your next question. What is the top tourist destination in Colombia? Bogotá is the capital of Colombia, and a modern metropolis overflowing with art, music, and food. That's where I'm from. However, the historic and romantic city of Cartagena is the undisputed #1 tourist destination in Colombia. Cartagena is a fascinating mixture of old and new. The old city will take you back in time, riding on horse-pulled carriages through the colorful streets with old Spanish fortresses looking over the ocean. But then you can also enjoy the attractions of a modern city with plenty of beaches and a vibrant food scene. However, we're not done yet. The small town of Salento in the heart of Colombia's coffee region is the perfect place to enjoy the mountain views while sipping on a cup of coffee made of grains that you picked yourself at a local coffee farm. But the one thing that you cannot miss is horseback riding or trekking through the Cocora Valley, El Valle del Cocora, to see the magnificent wax palm trees that are 200 feet tall and one of Colombia's national symbols. If you're like me, you might be saying, can we talk about food already? Well, where do I start? Whoa! Whew! Okay, out of all those mouth-watering dishes, you definitely should know about bandeja paisa, Colombia's unofficial national dish. Bandeja paisa was how field workers used to get enough energy to get through a hard day of work. Hence, the large servings of beans, meats, avocado, the rice is somewhere under there. You get the idea. Nowadays, it is eaten on special occasions or when you're really hungry. Doesn't it look like an English breakfast? And remember El Día de las Velitas, Little Candles Day? There's a traditional treat for that day and the Christmas season, which brings us to our last question. What is the most representative Colombian Christmas treat? Natilla and buñuelos are the iconic Colombian dessert for the Christmas season. Natilla is a cinnamon-infused milk custard, typically served with buñuelos, round cheese fritters, and coffee. Yo, Colombians and coffee be like, coffee with breakfast? Yeah. Coffee mid-morning, coffee either with lunch or after, for sure coffee mid-afternoon, and coffee for dinner? See, why not? Oh, sorry about that. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. You know what I mean. But I'm very happy that I got to share a piece of my identity and my fellow Colombians with you. I hope that if you visit Colombia in the future, you will remember the few things that I showed you today. Let's recap what that was. Today you learned about some elements of Colombia's national identity, including some fun facts about the country, its culture and character, a few of its most popular places, and its fantastic food. Thank you for exploring Colombia with me and being such great traveling partners. We're going to do this again. Until then, I will see you next class. Ciao! Nos vemos! Hey.